Devin, what made you chuck a rod out onto this hard venue? Obviously you knew it was hard because obviously you've seen your dad. So what made you do it?
The 40 coming and the plated mirror.
Yeah, so basically at a young age you're already clocking on to your target fish. So what's your biggest fish so far, mate?
28.8.
So 28.8, and was that off this venue?
No, it was off one of the lakes in this complex.
Oh, so it was off. So as you know, guys, now I spoke about it a little bit earlier in the blog about Adam. He's obviously on the other venue, and that's where you fish, wasn't it, mate? Is that when you had that big fish?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for £28 at, and you're 12 years old, guys, it's something else, isn't it? So there's something special, obviously, in his carp fishing, and thinking about hunting fish at the age of 12 is absolutely brilliant. I've seen younger guys, basically the same age as you, mate, and they can't even just sit there for 1 hour, let alone 48 hours without catching. So let's talk about this venue then. Obviously you're going to be on the Big Pit Adventure with obviously myself and Craig. Obviously now, guys, you know about the blogs and stuff, and obviously the field testers, Liam and Adam, have done little bits on there, catching fish, wading out, fish safety, and obviously yourself, mate, you'll be on these starting from, obviously part 4 of the Big Pit Adventure. So how do you feel about that?
Really good, actually. Give like a chance to be on camera.
Yeah, to give you a chance to show your opinions, because at the end of the day, guys. Yeah. So at the end, I see what you mean. So as Devin says, we're all different anglers on here. We're all sort of good close mates now, keep in contact with each other. If one ain't down, someone's phoning someone up saying they've seen fish here. So there's a bit of a group going on, and obviously you're going to be in these videos and showing your opinion basically of how you're doing it, and then hopefully how you're catching them. So what have you had out of here since? Can you remember the first day you chucked a rod out carp fishing on the Big Pit?
My first rod?
Yeah.
Well, my first one was a exact 15 pound common.
Yeah.
And that was on a 360 rig.
Yeah.
With a little Northern Special popple.
Yeah.
And that was really early in the morning. And that really did really good for it. And my second fish was in a second session I had with another fish. I had 2 fish in one of the sessions, and one was 7.5 and one was 8.
Yeah. So what year are we talking? How many years ago? It's got to have been a couple of years, is it? A year?
2012,
something like that.
yeah.
2012. So 2012, 2013. Obviously, that's when I think I first met obviously your dad, Nick, your stepdad, and obviously met Adam on here. And to be quite honest with you, I think you guys come on before me. I think you guys started fishing just before me. So experience anglers on here down to yourself, where you to be quite honest with you, mate, you're more inexperienced than some of the guys who come on here. So what do you reckon your tactics are for that common then if you're pursuing? So obviously you've spoke about coming down looking. Obviously if the pegs are packed, you've spoke about you can't really get on the pegs to look, and you don't really interfere with other fishermen, I take it, and you just come down and doing your own little thing. So where do you reckon that common hangs out? Have you sussed that out, you reckon?
Yeah, it's only been coming out this end of the lake, and it's only came out once on this side of the lake, I think. And it's mainly just like round in different spots, and but he doesn't go for a lot of bait, just enough for that bite.
Yeah, just enough for that bite. So you really,
Not too much.
you're basically fishing over PVA bags
Yeah,
and a couple of spots and stuff like that. So have you ever fished? What pegs have you fished on here then, mate? And what do you know best? What do you know best? Well, what peg you can definitely go on and say, you know, on say 85%, you'll have a take on.
That's the plateau peg.
The plateau peg. So you've got the plateau peg, which you know he's confident in. What other pegs on here, mate? You're confident in?
Shallows.
So up the shallows,
Channel.
all on the channels, all on this side of the bank.
In the bottom corner.
Yeah. So basically, if you come on here on a freezing cold day, where do you reckon them fish might be? Say you was driving down here with your dad, yeah, your stepdad, and basically you was coming down here, right, and it was dark, and you just come down and you come through the gates. Where would you reckon you'd go?
To the corner.
So you'd go and say, and why would you go to that corner?
I don't know, if the wind was down there, I'd be following the wind and
So
stuff.
yeah, so he's thinking about following wind, and you know, do you always think about what pegs you would like to get on?
Yeah,
before you come.
Like,
Yeah. So basically, obviously, guys, now the big pit is getting a bit more popular. You know, it's getting popular every year, and I do think it's going to be a venue for the future. But it really only, you know, people come down here and go, and you know, there's not many people stay on at the age of 12 years old, is there, mate? So you're doing quite well, mate, and I think you're not too far many fish off your dad or me, or probably Adam, so you're doing really well, mate. So
stepdad this year.
yeah, so you're beating him, so that's good. So basically, are you ever gonna? Is your plans obviously to fish more of the unknown pegs like you ain't fished, or you're gonna get about a little bit?
Yeah, get around to all the pegs and see which is the bestest ways of
catching them. Yeah. So basically, he's gonna obviously fish the pegs what he knows. If you know, if there's a lot of people on.
Where all the spots are, the gravel.
Yes.
Gravel patches.
So all the gravel patches. So he's gonna fish them. Then you're gonna try and get over to other pegs.
Yeah, do find out what's in front of those pegs and the features.
Features what you have. What I like about yourself, mate, is you're always thinking ahead, and you know you keep yourself to yourself on the lake, and basically he's got all his own setup. He's got his own little, you know, your own little bivvy, ain't you, mate? And he's got 2 rods, and you know he's proper set up to be, you know, prepared to actually get down here with his dad and say to his dad, well, I'm not fishing there, I'm going over here, and that's what I was like, mate. I didn't actually go with my dad. I actually used to go on my own to all these park lakes, but I'm sure, mate, you just get your rods and you just go, don't you?
First thing, get them set up when I'm at home, so then when I get here I can just put them out.
Yeah, so your preparation's quite good. So you know, always thinking ahead. So how many years do you reckon you'll stay on here then, mate? What's your time scale? You've got to have a time scale. I put you under pressure now, and all, mate.
Yeah, as long as I can.
There you go. So, good answer, mate. Good answer. So as long as you can. So he's like myself. He won't go off here till obviously that comment graces his net and the plated mirror and a few of the other special fish in here. And hopefully, mate, you never know, tonight might be the one. You know, this is his first time obviously filming for Signal Baits, and you are looking to get in the industry, aren't you, mate?
Yeah.
So, you know, guys, if there's any, all I can say is he's fishing on Signal Baits. Obviously, we're going to sponsor him, and we're going to get him all kitted out with all his own bait, and we've come to agreement that obviously with his bait, which is a special agreement between me and yourself, mate, But I will say, guys, if there's anyone out there who's got end tackle, you know, obviously I'm a pure bait company tackle at the moment. You know, I don't really, with tackle, I don't really want to do baits and tackle. That's what I mean. I don't, you know, I just want to concentrate on baits. Now, I am in talks with a company at the moment to get some of the lads, some of the field testers, sponsored by an end tackle company, and hopefully, you know, I ain't really seen their products yet. They're not a British company. You know, they're from out the UK, and I'm in talks with them at the moment. But I can tell you something, guys. If there's anyone of any end tackle company out there, even the big companies like ESP, you know, you name it, Corda, you know, Fox, get this lad on your side. Gardener, because, you know, I'm not these bigger ventures are not a promotional, you know, we don't promote end tackle at all. Obviously we do a bit of bait promotion of what we're using, but, you know, he's a good kid for the future. And if I did have my end tackle company, mate, I'd sponsor you straight away, like I've done with the bait. But you'll see a lot more of him. He's going to be on here, obviously. Hopefully, doing a few of the cold nights in the winter. So the old crispy mate in the morning, mate, and the rods if you get a take. So, and you never know. Hopefully, you might see him in the snow if he's brave enough. You'll be in the snow, mate. Have you ever fished in the snow? Yeah. What lake was that on? Smithies. So is that like an easier lake to go on to?
It's like 4 lakes, and the first, third and fourth are all easy. The second one is a challenge with some 20s in.
Yeah. So is that the one what you went on the challenge?
Yeah.
The one with so even on venues with more than one lake on, he's actually, you know, he goes for the hardest one, which, you know, is obviously a good sign of a good carp angler. You know, I won't name people, but there's carp anglers out there who, you know, have just done their own little thing, and, you know, to be quite honest with you, enjoying the fishing, top anglers. And I think, to be fair, mate, you're going to be one of them. I think you're going to be one of these quiet anglers who go around, do your own little thing, and catch these big monsters that are in the lakes. And hopefully, yeah, you'll get a good career out of it if you want to go that way. And, you know, I wish you all the best in the future. But like I say, we sponsored him for his bait, and hopefully we can catch up on a few other venues, maybe a bit closer to your house. So he is fishing an unknown water, which he didn't really want to speak about, but I'm going to get him to speak about it, because, you know, guys, I'm that person who fishes unknown waters, unknown fish, you know, them places where it's proper old school type of carping, where you're getting a few sets of reeds, no pegs, no one knows about the fish, which is hard to believe these days, because obviously everyone's onto unknown venues, big fish, you know. But tell me a little bit about that place, mate.
Well, it's just full of fish, mostly pike, and there's not much carp in there. It's just full of like all the little fish, and there's just bite after bite there. And
So have you had any carp out there? So you ain't had no carp out?
I haven't tried it for a carp. I've been spinning, and
so you just basically you're saying you keep spare time walking around doing a bit of spinning, and hopefully, you know, you'll spot a little carp, or a big one, I should say.
Yeah, me and Nick have gone to the very top end of this, unknown water, and you could see carp all together lifting the bottom up, feeding on.
Oh, so you located them then? Yeah. And what sort of area was that? Was that quite a shallow area, or?
It was really, it's like a shallow end. It was a red hot day.
So you chose your day right to have a walk around.
They look 20s, mid-20s.
Yeah, so you never know, if there's a 20 in there may be a 30, and then, you know, if it does people get on it? No one gets on it. So it's quite an hardcore place to obviously get on and fish, and, you know. So what made you go to that place then? Did you just water, let's go and have a look, or?
Yeah, we were my dogs and my stepdad came across, like, he knew it was there, but he took me to it, and as soon as I just thought, I'm going fishing here one day, and I did that.
So yeah, so basically, that was a few years ago when you actually.
It was about 6, 7, 8.
So see,
Little,
yeah. So you've always been thinking about these lakes, and obviously.
No one was allowed to go there, so I went straight away.
Yeah. So I think the next one is to get your head down in school, get all your exams sorted, and all that going on, and obviously get your licence, mate, and get down to these big unknown.
7 weeks off and we were fishing all the way.
Yeah, so you've got 7 weeks off now, and where you're going to be fishing, is that local? Obviously you're going to come down here.
Mostly here, aren't we?
Yeah, so you're going to be mostly here, just fishing. So where do you reckon next time then, mate? What you're going to do? Look at the weather conditions before you come down,
It's
or?
hot, I'll be in the shallows and under this really.
So you're going to be in
tree.
this bay area here, out here.
On the stretch on the side.
Yeah, and already your little spots where you've been feeding, and obviously I'll be down here. Just obviously, if I'm not fishing, I'll be down baiting up, and if I'm not baiting up, I'll be down walking around. I ain't seen the fish what I'm pursuing this year yet. To be quite honest with you, I've normally seen it with this hot weather. Basically, I've normally seen it by now. I know it's in here. The couple of fish what we're pursuing, the common and obviously the mirror. Other people have sightings, and they're definitely sightings of it, and I can obviously say I trust their word. But with my own eyes, I ain't seen the common. I don't know about you, mate.
Seen on the point, all of us were on the point, like me, my brother and stepdad were on the point, and it was really hot and you could see like a huge back coming out of the water, and I got up a tree and you just knew it was that.
You just knew it was there, yeah.
Dark as scales, just
amazing.
Yeah, and loads of fish underneath and just around it.
Yeah. So, did it get your heart beating?
Yeah, I was like, first time seeing it.
So, was that the first sighting then of it? So that was his first sighting of the common. Was that on the point? Did you say?
Yeah, it was like there's two sides of it, and then there's on the left side that we're looking at now.
So there you go, guys. He was on the point, looking out, and there it was, the big old common. I think there is a bigger fish in here. It's not been on the bank, but there's definitely, I seen it, like I say, I seen it back in 2000, just the end of 2012, 2013, decent sized fish. If that's still in here, that could go to 40 easy, if it's the one what I see.
Quite a lot of catfish too.
Yeah, there's a few cats in here, which I don't really want them to grace my net.
I don't want a 70 or 80 pound cat.
There you go, mate. I don't want that. So let's fingers crossed no cats come along to the old signal baits.
Yeah. Once they're on it, they're not coming off.
That's it, mate. I fancy pulling that monster in.
They pull me in.
We'll have to get you a little harness, mate, and strap you to a tree. That's it. So, going back onto locating, how do you actually locate them then?
I walk around, I'll get up some trees and see if
So you're climbing trees and you put your glasses on and stuff like that?
See them anywhere. Or just like fish jumping, boshing and...
Yeah, so what's the signs you look out for when, obviously, say this was flat calm now and you climbed a tree and you got up there, so what signs would you actually know there was definitely car?
Boshing.
So you'd look out for one jumping
or
out
fizzing
or
bubbles.
fizzing competitively and obviously going in a trail. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Mud clouds and...
So clouds up water. How about the smell of the air? Have you ever come across that where you see a lot of fish in one corner and the wind's blowing in and you can just smell fishy smell? Have you ever come across that?
No.
So I'm learning you a little tip there. Well, I've only seen it a couple of times when the fish have been holding up in a certain area on here. Now, when I fish the shallows, which I was fishing earlier, which I've moved off now due to rod pressure, there's a lot of rod pressure down there, and like I say, there was last night when I got here. But I thought I'd jump in there, same situation as yourself. I know the swim, it was getting dark, put the baits out, just out for the take. I had a take, I had a 13 pound fish last night, but never graphed it, I just reeled it in and set it free. But yeah, it was a bit, it was a bit of a warrior of a fish, seen better days really. But like I say, I went in there, got up, I slept right outside the rods last night. I was fishing locked up, that's why. And I do believe fishing locked up is quite a good way of obviously getting a good hook hold. But in another way, you've got to be really sensible. If you're going to lock your rods up, guys, obviously you all know by now, you know, there's no clutch is going to spin off. You're going to be on them rods. So basically, I had my rods high.
Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, I had my rods high, and all I heard is one bleep, and the rod was bending, the line was lifting, and I was into the fish, and that's why I slept on the rods last night. Now, as an angler, I'm a very committed angler, and I always think of fish safety. You know, from experience of the years what I've had, you know, I've seen people locked up, and yes, I disagree with locking up in basically an area where you can't get to your rods. I was sleeping, basically my bed chair was here, the rods was there, and I was right on them. So as soon as I heard the bleep, into the fish, fighting the fish, then as you go, just playing the fish. So yeah, tonight I can happily put my clutches on. There's no really weed beds what I'm fishing, and you know, basically they can run off and do what they want. Last night I was fishing into heavy, well, I wasn't actually fishing into the weed, but I was fishing on the back of heavy weed, and the fish normally pick the bait up straight into the weed and start trying to get rid of the lead. Then you're into all complications of going right out to your neck, as you've seen on the previous videos with Liam. He's gone out, and you know, he's got the fish out. Now, that is what you call fish care when you go out for it, but you've got to look at the safety side of it. So there you go, mate, and hopefully you don't have to go out, because if you do, you're going to be up to your neck in it. But there's, like I say, his stepdad is always down with him, obviously fishing, and obviously there's always a guy to give him an hand. But most of the time, mate, you're all on your own and you're doing it yourself, mate. So it's all good. It's all good. So, but what time do you reckon you'll have a run tonight if you get one? After dark, early morning?
Early morning, I think.
Yeah, early morning. So there you go. But right then, mate, I think it's time for a bit of food. Probably a beer for me and a Red Bull. Is that what you drink on the bank to keep you awake?
Lemonade and stuff like that.
So you drink lemonade. So he's on the hard stuff and we're on the weaker stuff. But there you go, guys. That's the new little field tester, signal baits, and it's nice to have you on board, mate. And I hope you kick me up my arse about if anything's going wrong with my bait, what's going wrong. If you want anything, just call me, and there you go. That's the youngest field tester, and to be fair, guys, I won't be taking any more young people on. This is just due to you know, he's a very good angler and he's way ahead of his age on a lot of people who fishes out there. So there you go, mate, and welcome to Signal Baits.
Yeah,
There you go, mate. Basically, why did you change the rig then from obviously last night?
Yeah, because when I reeled it in, there was a really, really big kink in it, and because I'm fishing for big fish, the fluorocarbon could have broke.
Fair play to you, mate. You're always thinking ahead then. So basically, you know, Devin's thinking ahead of, you know, the night ahead of him, really. He don't want to be really sitting behind his rods, knowing that, you know, if he gets to take off one of the bigger fish what he's fishing for in the big pit. Obviously you guys know by the blogs how hard it is on here, and your rigs have got to be spot on. So what rig type are you fishing then, mate?
I'm fishing a stiff hinge. I was before, but because of the kink and line I frizzed, I'm going to get a tiny better one this time.
Good man, good man. So what baits you going to be putting on there tonight? And is it going to be pop up, critically balanced? You know, talk the guys through it.
It's going to be one of your aqua squid pop-ups.
So he's fishing on the aqua squid, and I think he's had a bit of a smile on his face this weekend as his dad's just had that one. Just to give a bit of a better view. Actually on film, Devin is fishing one peg down from his dad, which his dad's fishing to the left of him, and he's fishing to the same sort of area in texture on the bottom. He's fishing on a bar, so obviously, you know, I take it, Devin, you want to be casting that out knowing that it's not stuck in weed or anything like that.
Yeah, I want to cast it properly so I know that if a carp sees it, you'll be able to get it.
Good man, good man. Are you going to put any freebies out there tonight, or?
Yeah, catapult some buoys out.
Yeah, how many baits you putting round that?
20
baits. Good man, good man. You doing any spodding tonight?
No, because I did that today around about dinner time.
So he's you know, this is what I'm saying. Devon's thinking obviously ahead. He's probably one step ahead of me. I know he had last time you was down. How many fish did you have, mate?
2 and lost one.
So there you go. 2 and lost one. And how old are you, mate? 12 years of age on the hard waters like this. This is the future of carp fishing, and there's a lot of young lads out there who go to these, I should say, easier lakes, more stocked, and there's Devon sitting it out on hard waters. Even guys who are twice his age, maybe 3 times, don't catch on here. So there you go, that's Devon, and you'll be seeing a lot more of him. He's going to be in the blogs. How many times a week do you get down here, Devon? Do you get every other week, is it, mate?
Come a week and then miss a week.
So you do every other week.
Yeah.
So Devon ain't even pre-baiting, he's coming down with his dad, and basically it's all about, I take it's all about the just looking for them and watercraft, is it, mate?
Yeah, just finding where the fish are and having a good session there.
Good man, good man. So did you walk around this weekend?
No, because it was all the pegs were taken, and this bank was free, and it was a hearty day, and then thought they'll be in the showers.
So basically you used a bit of knowledge from your last few sessions on here, and
I was on this peg when I had me 2 and lost one.
So there you go. So he's took a second option. His first option, obviously, Devon, I'll take it you would have walked around if the pegs was free, and he's took the second option of going on previous knowledge, and basically I'll take it you're fishing to the same spots as normal, or obviously the water levels dropped, so I take it you've changed a little bit.
Yeah, I was fishing to a bar, but I had 2 rods there, but I'm having one there now and one about from the bank to the bar in the middle, like in the middle of the water.
Good man, good man. So we're going to have a chat to Devon. I'm going to let him tie this rig up, let him get it out there, then we're going to sit behind the rods having a little chat.
I'm using this as an attraction over a spot that I've previously fished over aqua squid. In the bottom, it'll cloud the bottom up and get the fish feeding.
Yeah, so basically he's going to put this out now in his spom. He's going to load his spom up, and this is going to, like he says, cloud all the bottom up. It's a mixed bird seed with basically an aniseed oil, which obviously we all know by now. It's very good for carp fishing. It's got hemp in it, so basically this is the new spom mix from Signal Baits, and also it's got the new pellets in, which obviously are tray pellets with 2 different types of pigment colouring over the top, which absolutely look great on the bottom and also give off a cloud. So there you go. So how far are you going to spom this out, mate?
To the bar and in the middle of the channel.
So you're going in the middle of the channel. So this basically he's putting it out to basically cloud up the bottom and to give the gravel an extra, you know, that bit of, it's like a base layer really for the aqua squid to sit on. So there you go. There you go, he's getting it out. And obviously guys, you can see how powerful that sun is. So he's got his glasses on, or he's going to get his glasses, I hope. There you go mate, put them on, you'll see a lot better in them. And don't forget guys, he's only a young lad, up and coming carp angler, and he knows his spots. And there you go. And he's going to put roughly 1/4 kilo out on this, and basically he's going to keep feeding it in, and he's been doing this most of the weekend, a little bit often, to attract all them fish, and you know, put a nice bed on the bottom, so when he puts his rig and his baits out a bit later on, he'll have a nice bed out there. So he's loading it back up, and he's gonna just keep doing that until it's all gone. So we'll get back to you when he decides he's happy enough with how much bait he's put out, and basically to get the main part is the rig out, and he's going to show you how he casts the rig out. So there you go. And what a night to film this with that sunset in the background. So this is called wrapping up. This is a little bit new to me, so I'm going to take a few tricks out of your book, mate. So here we go, he's going to explain what he's doing it and why he's doing it.
I'm wrapping up because by wrapping up we can, at 16 wraps is 64 yards, and you get you into an accurate spot for spomming.
So basically you're fishing at 64 yards out, and by doing this sort of wrapping, so I take it you've got a bank stick there and a bank stick just over there, and you've measured that to 12 foot, which is a rod length. So every time he comes down, he measures this out and he's on the spots. So go on then mate, show me how to do it. So there you go. So he's just going to wrap this round, and this is going to get an accurate position of the spot, which obviously he's been putting bait in and been fishing on every time he's come down. So as you can see, he's quite quick at doing it, so he's definitely more experienced than me at doing this. You guys might have done this who's watching, but for the guys who ain't, it's, you know, this is a good tip. So you're at 16 wraps, mate?
Yep.
So obviously I take it you're going to clip up on that.
Yeah, I'm stuck on it.
Good man. So yeah, there you go, so he's clipped up and he's going to retrieve it all back in now and obviously go on to his spot. So we'll catch up with him when he's just about to cast out. Yep, the old choddy, and basically he's wrapped it up to get it right on that spot just out there. So he's just checking it all.
Big curve in it.
So he's going to put a curve in it so it's got a good hook hold.
Back where it touches that, it'll spin round into its mouth.
There you go. So there you go mate, get it out there then. And as you can see where the bar is, you can just see them birds, and hopefully it'll get it out there, then it'll clip up on the clip and he's bang on his spot. Look at that, bang on the spot. There you go. So there you go, he's got it on there now, and he's going to set that rod. You happy with that, mate? So, obviously he's repeating it, sinking the line.
Just pulling the line so it didn't get him on.
Yeah, so he's resetting his line after he's casted it, he's feathered it down onto the spot. And he's just setting that up now. So there you go. All the reels have been set in position, and that's what it's all about, being organised. There you go. So he's setting all his bobbins up, making sure everything's on, working. And there you go.
Like I say, I'm not going to be sat about on a peg and not feeling confident with the fishing and that. So I decided to spend all morning moving the tackle from one side of the lake to the other.
Nah, fair play to you, mate.
You know
like
what
I
I mean?
say, if you don't try, you'll never win. So, but obviously, fishing new pegs and stuff like that, you're always learning about different pegs. Obviously, you've never fished this one, have you? It's the first time, is it?
Yeah, it's the first time I've been down this side of the lake. Like I say, found a few spots out there that we do know that produce captures from them. So it's a nice little spot that we can work on. Just to find other areas of the lake where it's not as pressured, because people are starting now to fish areas where we've been fishing it.
Yeah, same sort of areas.
Really. They're starting to get pressured there now, so you've got to be a little bit different. You've got to have a bit of an edge, haven't you?
Definitely,
really,
mate,
you know what I mean? When it comes to fishing, it's not just about fishing the usual spots where captures are coming from all the time. It's about trying to find new spots and areas where people are not fishing as much, where fish have come from probably a couple of years ago, but people have all decided to fish areas where fish are coming out more regular. So I think it's got to chop and change a little bit.
Yeah, I think we're gonna move off them spots now, and we're gonna start fishing more.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit overfished now. You know what I mean? We've had a few off them, and we know people are dropping on them because that fish are coming off them, and so you've got to be a bit, do a bit
more stealthy about stuff.
Yeah, you've got to be a little bit different, and you've got to change your locations and baits, colours, rigs, stuff like that. All little changes, like these little 1%, add to getting more fish on the bank. That's how I look at it. And even though that I haven't caught anything this weekend, I've still learned a lot of what I have not known about here before. So that's what it's all about as well. It's not just about catching fish. Your watercraft and getting your knowledge on places like this is just as essential as getting your rigs and your bait right. Like you say, you could have the best bait in the world, but if you're fishing somewhere where the fish aren't going to be, then you're not going to catch them. You know what I mean? And we've got to find these spots, haven't we? Even if it means coming down here and spending a session, putting a marker float out and finding areas, finding new spots and stuff. To me, it's just as essential, and it's just as important as know, getting your presentation and your rigs right and your bait right. You know, it all ties in with one another.
Yeah.
You know, it's parcel or partial, if you want. I'm sure that's the right way of saying it. Partial. You know, we're getting it right, and that's fishing for you. You know.
Right, yeah, but like I say, I think moving off them spots down there where we've been fishing, trying to find a few new ones, you know, putting a little bit of bait in. I think midweek I'm going to start coming down, baiting it up, and I think also, Craig, I'm going to get another spot going. So, like we was just speaking off the camera, really, I was just saying to Nick and obviously yourself, basically I'm going to come round and I'm going to set up in a peg where I feel confident and try and get on a few new spots, and I'm also going to be baiting another peg up because I'm going to have basically you know, another peg to drop on the Saturday night. So Friday night I'll be coming down, just obviously looking round, dropping on a few fish if I can see them. Then on the Saturday night, if I've done no good, obviously on the first peg, I'm going to start dropping into baited spots. And I think baited spots in here are very good, but I do think you have to pre-bait. With my past experience, I used to come down in the week, midweek, and put, you know, a few kilo in and drop on it on the weekends. Now, doing that this time of year, or I should say this time round on the big pit, there's a lot of pressure, and getting onto your peg is going to be another, you know, another difficult thing. But if you put bait in pegs where not many people fish or not really venture, obviously it all gets fished, but some, like Craig was just saying, some pegs get fished over and over again and weekend after weekend, and obviously the baited spots where I will be baiting up, that's going to be really avoided. I'm not really going to bother even putting bait in them areas. I'm just going to, the peg what I will be baiting up is the peg where, you know, little holes in the reeds, and maybe, to be fair, probably over the other side, mate. It wouldn't be probably this side I'll be doing it. So it's just having something to drop back on, you know, just to see, you know, if we can try and pick them up and trick them in that sort of sense. So, you know, basically until next time, mate, we don't know where we're going to be fishing, where the fish are going to be, what the weather's going to be like, but I'm sure we'll be keeping an eye on it, mate.